I'm opening Claude Desktop and starting a new conversation. Claude responds immediately. It's creating a feature discovery research and asking the first strategic question. Instead of typing a short response, I'm recording a detailed voice memo for about 10 seconds. This lets me provide much richer context naturally, the way I'd actually explain it to a colleague. Watch as Claude takes this detailed answer and creates a structured artifact. User persona for Alex and saved to the audience research directory. In a couple of minutes, we just started a structured research project and created our first organized artifacts. You just saw the research module in action. Here's the problem it solves. When you conduct research, your insights usually end up scattered. Chat history, random notes, endless copy-pasting between tools. You have valuable discoveries, but they're not organized or reusable. The research module changes this. It captures every insight as structured artifacts that become part of your product's knowledge base. So what exactly is the research module? It's a structured approach to conducting discovery work that produces organized, persistent artifacts. The module has three core components. First, templates. Templates are blueprints that define what you're trying to discover. They specify categories like audience research, needs analysis, and feature ideation. Each category has specific entry types. For example, user personas, pain points, and feature concepts. Second, research projects. A research project is an active discovery session based on a template. When you create a research project, you're saying, I want to discover something specific using the structure. Third, artifacts. These are your actual findings. When you answer strategic questions during a research session, the system creates structured entries. User personas get saved to the audience research folder. Pain points go into needs analysis. Feature concepts land in feature ideation. Here's the key benefit. These artifacts aren't just sitting in chat history. They're markdown files on your disk, organized by category, with proper metadata. They become searchable, reusable product documentation. You can version control them with Git. You can share them with your team. You can reference them in future sessions. They're part of your product's knowledge base now, not lost in conversation history. Let's see how this works in practice. Now let's create our first research template. I'm opening Claude Desktop and creating a new project. I'll call it Template Generator. The key to generating good templates is providing the right instructions. CTX provides a complete guide for template generation. You can take this instruction file from the documentation. I'm adding this instruction to my project. It contains everything Claude needs to know about template structure, best practices, and how to ask the right questions. Now I'll start a conversation. I'm asking Claude to create a feature discovery template for me. Watch what happens. Claude doesn't just generate a template immediately. Instead, it asks strategic questions. This questioning phase is important. It ensures the template matches your actual needs. Now Claude generates the complete template in YAML format. Here's what makes templates powerful. They encode proven methodologies into reusable structures. If you've found a research approach that works well, you can capture it as a template and apply it consistently across projects. The template guides both you and the AI through the same strategic process every time, but adapts to each specific context. Think of templates as your research playbooks. Once created, they become knowledge assets your whole team can use. I'm saving this template to my app templates directory. Now it's ready to use for actual research projects. Now we need to connect CTX to Claude Desktop through the MCP protocol. Before we configure Claude Desktop, make sure you have CTX installed on your system. You can find complete installation instructions in the CTX documentation. Once CTX is installed, generating the configuration is easy. CTX provides a built-in config generator. Just run CTX MCP config in your terminal. It automatically detects your operating system, generates the correct configuration format, and gives you copy-paste ready JSON. Now I'm opening the Claude Desktop configuration file and pasting the generated configuration into the file. I'm saving the configuration and restarting Claude Desktop. Now when I start a new conversation, Claude has access to the CTX research system. Time to create our research project and start discovering features. First, I need to set up a project in Claude Desktop with the right orchestration instructions. These instructions teach Claude how to work with the research module effectively. You can find the complete orchestration guide in the CTX documentation. I'm creating a new project and adding the orchestration instruction file. This tells Claude how to select research projects, restore context, and conduct strategic sessions. Next, I'm providing some context about our product. I'm adding a README file that describes task flow, our to-do application. This gives Claude the background information it needs to ask relevant questions. Now we're ready to start the research session. I'm asking Claude to create a feature discovery research for task flow. Claude loads the feature discovery template we created earlier. It reads the template structure, understands the workflow, and switches to strategic consultation mode. Now Claude starts asking questions about our users, their workflows, and the problems they face. Here's a critical tip for getting the most value from research sessions. Use voice dictation for your answers. Instead of typing short responses, I'm recording a voice memo. I'm speaking for about 30 to 60 seconds, explaining our task flow users in detail. Watch what happens here. Claude doesn't just ask surface-level questions. Instead, it challenges my assumptions and pushes me to think deeper about the real problems. When I mention feature requests like subtasks and tags, Claude questions whether these are actual needs or just symptoms of a deeper problem. It's forcing me to examine the evidence more carefully. Here's where the strategic questioning becomes powerful. Instead of accepting my hypothesis about context preservation, Claude probes the strength of my data. How many users actually mention this? Is this observed behavior or just my interpretation? This is exactly what makes the research module valuable. The template doesn't just collect information, it guides rigorous thinking and challenges weak assumptions. As the conversation progresses, Claude helps me structure my thinking into clear hypotheses. We identify two core questions that need validation. First, is context preservation really the root cause? Second, is this a single-player or multiplayer problem? Now Claude creates structured research entries based on our strategic discussion. Each hypothesis becomes a formal entry with supporting evidence, validation criteria, and what would invalidate it. Let's look at what we've built. In the research planning category, we have 2 hypothesis entries and 1 interview guide. In the problem discovery category, we have 2 draft pain points about context loss. Each entry is a complete markdown document with rich detail, clear validation criteria, and explicit acknowledgement of what we don't know yet. This is rigorous research structure, not just note-taking. The research session continues as long as needed. When we conduct the interviews and gather evidence, we'll come back and update these entries. Hypotheses will be validated or invalidated. Pain points will move from draft to validated status with quantified evidence. Everything is automatically organized, version controlled, and ready for the next session. This is the power of the research module. Strategic thinking captured as structured knowledge. Let's simulate what happens when you return to your research after a break. I'm starting a completely new chat session in Claude Desktop. It's like coming back tomorrow or next week. I'm asking Claude to continue my to-do app feature discovery research. Claude immediately uses the research tools. It lists available research projects and finds our to-do app feature discovery. Now it loads the full research context. It reads the template to understand the workflow. It checks the memory blocks for any project-specific instructions. It scans through existing entries to see what we've already discovered. Claude is reviewing our work. It sees we've created user personas, identified key pain points, and started exploring feature concepts. Here's what makes this powerful. Claude doesn't ask me to re-explain everything. It already knows who our users are, what problems they face, what features we're considering. Your research grows into a comprehensive knowledge base. And that's the CTX research module in action. Every researcher deserves high-quality tools. Tools that respect your time, organize your thinking, and preserve your insights.